Good evening, Grim City. You're listening to Night Queen Radio, and I am the Night Queen, contradicting the old saying, out of sight, out of mind. We have a special episode for you, and as a result, I'm not so lonely tonight. We're joined in the studio by Grim City Channel 68 News lead investigative journalist Mr. Keegan Gregory. Evening, Mr. Gregory.
Good evening, Night Queen. Thanks for having me on your show tonight.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Gregory. So you've been in GCN 68, 12 years?
That's right, 13 this fall.
You must have seen some interesting things in all that time. Tell me, what has captured your interest as of late?
Thanks, Night Queen. I love how your voice just tells the story. Anyway, there are so many stories we could talk about on the program tonight, but I think it all really stems from one key fact. Grim City's population is just exploding over recent years. I'm sure you've heard. We're up like 15% or so over last year already, and we're seeing population dynamics play out here that we've never seen before.
Yeah, it's impossible to find parking these days. Might have to start bringing the broom to work. So what kind of things are you seeing as a result?
Well, the nighttime scene here in Grim City has really taken off. If you go back 10, 15 years, we're a quiet city for the most part, decent schools, good jobs, a lot of families. Now we're seeing a huge shift in business operation hours and more younger people are coming here. So you've got restaurants, nightclubs, and even like run-of-the-mill businesses like grocery stores are not only open at night, some of them are open exclusively at night. It's like the city has two faces. When the sun comes up, it's business as usual, people going to work, buying coffee, all that good stuff. But when the sun goes down, there's this whole other population that hits the streets.
Ah, yes, my dear listeners.
And it seems like they're mostly just regular people doing regular things, going to the gym, buying groceries. The younger people tend to flock to the night scene, things like dance clubs or bars. Thankfully, though, we haven't had any kind of abnormally violent crime or criminal activity that you might associate with a night crowd. There's just more people out there.
So more people are enjoying the fresh night air. If I didn't know any better, I think the show is inspiring some change. What do you think is happening?
Well, like I said, nothing too bad so far. Some businesses have shifted their operating hours. I've spoken with some law enforcement officials who said that they'll be adjusting patrols and staffing to accommodate, but it all seems pretty normal. We have seen some subtle trends lately though, so if you go to the downtown strip around Main Street and 23rd, you'll see a lot of specialty shops popping up lately.
Oh, I do love that part of town, though I haven't been there in a little while.
So there's a new bookstore there that focuses on what they call ancient texts. Most of them are replicas, but they sell copies of old tomes and scrolls, that sort of thing. And across the street, you have this specialty cooking store, but really it looks like an old-fashioned apothecary. In their window, they've got things like cast iron cauldrons and big wooden ladles. The store owner tells me that they specialize in acquiring cooking and brewing ingredients for a more discerning customer.
That does sound rather fancy, doesn't it? Before we continue, I must pause for a brief ad break, but we'll have more right after this. Tired of feeling unwanted, vulnerable, and undesirable? Take control with the scent of night. With just 2 drops and notes of blackcurrant and musk, the scent of night will have you smelling like dominance. Own the night and capture your prey. Become the predator of the night and be the one they all dream about. 9 out of 10 humans will fall into your arms, guaranteed. Be desirable, the scent of night. Become the hunter. Welcome back. We are on with Mr. Keegan Gregory of Channel 68 News, just discussing what's happening in our city. Thanks to him for being here, and thanks to you for spending the night with us. So tell me, Mr. Gregory, have you had any particularly wild stories lately our viewers need to know about?
Well, the attempted robbery of Grim City Central Bank was all the buzz here recently.
Oh, yes, I did hear about that.
Yeah, so this is the kind of stuff that we might hear about from other bigger cities, but what do you know? It happens here too.
Uh huh.
So this guy goes into the bank, seems to slip the bank teller a note saying he needs $1 million put into his account.
Oh,
It
my.
seems like the teller didn't know what to do with it at first, thought maybe it was a joke or something. Then the guy pulls out one of those detonator looking button things and starts yelling at the teller, right? So there's this big standoff and all that. Turns out he was bluffing. It was just a prop. There were no bombs or explosives at all. So the boys in blue took him down after like 8 or 9 hours. Nobody was hurt. Judge denied him bail, so now he's down in jail waiting for a trial.
So strange. What could prompt a person to do something like that? What else?
Well, so when you're working current events like I do, you generally have a few labels you put on different stories, right? A lot of stories are your everyday stuff, common crime, city council meetings, that sort of thing. Then you have the stories that are more out there, the ones that are really bizarre. And it just feels like I've had a lot more of those weird, bizarre stories come across my desk in the last 12 months than I've ever had before.
No, that sounds like something worth talking about.
So I'm looking for, what's the connection in all this, right? You'll have a story of a few people here or there reporting things like odd puncture wounds in the neck,
Oh
or
my.
some people saying that they've got crazy neighbors, right? I mean, who doesn't? Some people call in, they say that they've got these night gyms that have these inexplicably strong members. So, very normal looking people who can lift crazy amounts of weight. But so far, all these bizarre, weird stories, they don't seem to have much of a central connection to them.
Oh, I love it. So, if you can, what's maybe the top one story that you'd like to share with the audience? Something really out there that maybe didn't get much attention?
Let me think. Um, well, okay, so there was one good one from a few years back. So, if you're new to Grim City, you might not remember this one, but out near East Bay, we started getting reports of some strange behavior. So, clouds of odd smell that no one could determine the source of, fluctuations in the power grid, things like that. Well, eventually we narrowed it down to this one house where an old retired scientist lived.
Right.
He was very reclusive, so no interviews or anything like that, and the neighbors didn't know much about him either. So one night we staked it out, just to see if there was anything illegal going on, and there were all kinds of these flashes of light and whatnot coming from inside.
I see.
Anyway, so I checked with the city. The guy's name was Franklin Victor Stein, lived alone. His wife Shelley had died years ago. Anyway, so the guy lives all alone, but one night there's this big storm and a power surge to the house and all that. Then later, we see a second person walking around in there. No idea how that guy got there or what they were doing, but from the laughter, it sounds like they were having a great time.
So, what happened to the good doctor?
Yeah, hard to say. There wasn't much of a story in it, so we decided to move on. Not sure if he still lives out there, but we haven't heard anything from the neighbors, so it's probably fine.
Maybe someone should pay him a visit, bring him some cookies or something. Remember to take care of each other out there, Grim City. Well, Mr. Gregory, that's about all the time we have tonight, but thank you so much for dropping by.
Oh, my pleasure. This has been so fun. Thanks for having me by, and we need to do it again.
Absolutely. This interview has been brought to you by our sponsor, Channel 68. If you want some actual news instead of a mad night watcher fooling around, go listen to them instead. Well, my dear listeners, I'm afraid I must leave you for the night, but don't fret. I'll be back again tomorrow. Good night, Grim City, and as always, don't do anything I wouldn't do.